So, Mr. President, I bring you your children, descendants of the formerly enslaved. They have waited over 400 years to return the spirits of their ancestors back home to Africa. When the children of Africa were taken out of Africa as slaves, all they ever wanted to do was to come back home to Africa. Each and every one of them that you see, many of them are coming to Africa for the first time. They're bringing with them the spirits of their ancestors to put them to rest here in Burkina Faso. And that's mission number one. Mission number two, we have watched you, Mr. President. You stand for everything that we have hoped for in an African man. Courageous, fearless, and in their faces. France, unapologetically, you told France, pack your bags and go home. You, Mr. President, and the people of Burkina Faso have done it, and we have a responsibility to support you. You have over 300 million African diaspora who are looking up to you. We are here to show you that we are with you. We support you. We are behind you. And we will not let you down. Many of us were told, don't go to Burkina Faso. It's a war-torn country. Guns all over the street. Mr. President, we want you to know that the more they told us not to go to Burkina Faso, the more we ran to Burkina Faso. No one tells them not to go to Europe, to their countries of origin. Therefore, no one will tell us not to come home to Burkina Faso. So mission number two is to let you, Mr. President, know that you and the citizens of Burkina Faso have done all the heavy lifting. The least we can do is to support you. So we are here. Our third mission is to see what can we do, Mr. President, to play our part in building the Burkina Faso we want.
They surely told you that it is an unvisitable country. They told you that it's death here. It's war. There is only negative things, and Burkina is called black. That here, only blood and weapons flow. That's what is said elsewhere. Thank God you arrived safely. You were able to be in Bobo Dioulasso. You've lived with us. Our culture is what binds us Africans. You were able to commune with many other nationalities who came to celebrate with us. Everything went very well. Now you are in Ouagadougou, and I hope that you are very well received, very well housed, and that you managed to commune with your brothers here. This is an important message that you are sending to everyone, and now you will be the ambassadors of this message when you are at home. That Burkina is very friendly. We live in Burkina Faso. What they want to make people believe is not Burkina. This is what they draw to get people to flee Burkina, and they depict all of Africa like that. For them, Africa is misery. Africa is famine. Africa is war, but it's them who are responsible for this war.
Nous avons besoin de nous
We
unir.
need to unite, but they have always been there to divide us, to be able to reign on us through slavery.
L'esclavage, nos ancêtres l'ont vécu.
Our ancestors experienced it, and until today, we have it fed up in our flesh, but it
Ça
continues.
continue. Nos grands-pères ont été déportés.
Our great people were deported, tortured, and again when they had their war, we supported them, but they paid us in monkey money.
Ils nous ont payés en monnaie de singe. D'autres ont été tués lorsqu'ils ont essayé de revendiquer.
Others were killed when they tried to stake their claim. Several of them died in their village as a result of the war. Never recognized the work of the African.
Notre mission,
Our mission is first of all to awaken Africa and do better, so that you from the diaspora can make people understand what Africa is.
pour faire comprendre ce que c'est que l'Afrique. Quand je vous vois unis dans cette
When I see you,
association,
united in this association, I feel even more proud because that's all we are asking for today. Our fight is to be able to unite, because united we are strong, divide we are
parce
weak.
que unis, nous sommes forts. Divisés, on est faible. Ils ont toujours travaillé à nous diviser.
They have always worked to divide us, so I urge you to spread the message so that Africa can unite.
Nous avons la chance ou la malchance.
We have been lucky or unlucky enough to live through war for several years,
Et à un moment donné, il fallait dire
and at some point, we had to say enough is enough, that we are fed
nos
up.
responsabilités.
We have taken our responsibilities, and we realize today more than ever that we were right to take our responsibilities.
Parce que ces armées étaient
Because these
installées.
armies that were installed here were never able at any time to monitor our territory, to see the terrorists who came to kill us and leave with all the means they had when we asked.
Comrade fighters for freedom, for sovereignty, and real independence. Hello. Let us give thanks to God who allowed this day, day 11, to take place, and that we could meet in this bowl of the Palais des Sports to discuss the future of our homeland. Following your decision on May 25 to entrust us with the destiny of our homeland for 5 more years, be grateful for it. We do not see this as a mandate, but we understood it as a message that was given to us. And the message was very well received. And we will do everything to always earn your trust. Allow me also to pay a vibrant tribute to all these defense forces, these internal security forces, our valiant volunteers for the defense of the homeland, and all these populations who live in these areas with a strong security challenge, who are standing up. We pay tribute to them, and we say thank you for all the sacrifices made for our homeland. I ask you that we can therefore observe a minute of silence to honor the memory of all those who lost their lives in this fight. Thank you. May the souls of the deceased rest in peace, and may the injured recover. Comrades, the emotion is great, of course, but allow me to articulate my remarks in 3 phases. The first phase will concern the stage from which I will explain to you how we see this world. The second phase, we will devote ourselves to explaining to you why we must continue to fight. And then the most important step would be to briefly outline the vision for the future, if I can put it that way. During these 20-some months spent at the head of state, we have had to meet several politicians from all sides. We met hundreds of diplomats from all sides. We met businessmen from all over the world. We have been open to all these exchanges, to all these discussions, to be able to learn from the world, to be able to understand the world. And today, I think that the opportunity is very good for me to be able to explain to you what conclusions we have drawn from all these meetings that we have had with politicians from all continents, diplomats from all the continents. It's very important. The conclusion we have drawn is very important. and it should allow you to understand the world. Because often in our countries, we do not have this perspective of being able to have access to certain people who will teach you a lot of things through their behavior, through their words, and also by telling you how they see us. Comrades, God created the world with all that there is in terms of happiness, misfortune, good, evil, humans, genies, animals, and everything that goes with it. But we humans have decided to make the world something else. Among the imperialists, they have a vision of the world that I will explain to you. The world is a triangle for them. You will see the triangle in most of their badges. Maybe you don't understand, but the world can be summed up in a triangle. For them, at the top of the triangle is the empire of good. And the empire of good is them. It is prosperity. It is everything that is positive. It is they who have the right to all that is happiness in this world. It is they who have the right to all wealth. It is to them to impose their way of seeing the world. It is up to them to impose their vision, their way of life. 2. This is why, during colonization or their conquest, I would say they came to our lands and they said that they discovered our lands because for them, we are savages. We have nothing like them, actually. So they called us natives, and they are the people. They arrogate all the rights to themselves. And for them, the world must work the way they want it to. It's simple, I'll take a few examples. Look through their film. They have prepared the minds of their people to make them understand that they are the Bekt. Who among us has not treated Chinese products as Shintox products, as we like to call them, bad products? But today I can tell you that we are all wrong because China has a fairly advanced level of technology. And it is in China that most of these countries come to obtain their supplies, put their mark on it, and resell it to us as their property. Look around you. Our entrepreneurs who are in the construction industry will not say the opposite. All their machines today are Chinese. Those who carry out transport will not say otherwise. They lied to us because we traveled around the world a bit in these 20 months to look for companies, to look for factories. And we understood that everything was coming back there. But through their communication, they led us to hate all Chinese products, to want us to understand that what is good came from them. Not necessarily anyway. It's simple. Go back in time. To better understand what I would say, we need to go back in time a little. And I hope that some people will read about the Tsars, the Mongol conquests, the Persian, Turkish, and Ottoman empires. Read their story, you will understand why the world is like this. At the base of the triangle, there are two empires. On one side, the evil empire, according to them, and the slave empire on the other side. This is how they see the world. Who do they call the evil empire? Which I just cited the origin of right away. And I told you to go back in time, go read it. You will understand why they are the evil empire in their eyes. They are fighting the evil empire. For them, the evil empire must disappear. For them, the evil empire embodies the devil. They communicate and they make it clear to their people that way. This is why, after the Second World War, in the 1980s, I would take the case of Russia, where all the stratagems were implemented to collapse it with President Gorbachev. In the United States, it was President Ronald Reagan who was in charge. Three main stratagems caught our attention. So they went to Saudi Arabia to ask them to lower the price of oil. from 35 to 7 to collapse the Russian economy. Along with this, the second ploy. Don't forget something. These same people who have just left Afghanistan, supposedly saying they were fighting the Taliban. The Taliban were received by President Ronald Reagan at the White House. They were armed by the CIA. The famous Stinger ground-air missiles were delivered to the Taliban to fight the Russians. And later, they come to supposed to fight them. Go figure it out. The third ploy was a bluff. The idea is Project Star Wars. Read. You will understand why they got President Gorbachev to create the Polos Project, which broke Russia. Once Russia collapsed, those who claimed to be from the empire began to gloat, until this team came along with Vladimir Putin to try to bring Russia back to the surface. The evil empire. The evil empire, according to them, suffered greatly. Look at Iran today. All the possible sanctions, and for this they put a cliché in mind. The African is easy to manipulate. He is only emotion. They will always find an African to fight against his brother. And it's always been like that. Through communication, they made you hate your own skin color. In our cultures, and in many cultures in Burkina Faso, mourning was symbolized by the color blue. When a woman loses her husband, she therefore wore blue-colored outfits to mourn for a given time. They are the ones who came to tell you that black symbolizes mourning, the devil, mediocrity, everything that is bad. And unfortunately, we have swallowed this so much that when we grieve, we also put ourselves in black. We need to wake up. We need to wake up, because this is the cliché they have in mind. They are the empire of good, others are the empire of evil, and we are the empire of slaves. This is how the imperialists see the world. You must understand this. And here, I am going to rant against certain intellectuals who continue to want to preach for the imperialists. Are they ignoring this part of the story? I'm not inventing anything. It's been declassified. You will find everything I said in the library or everywhere on the search engines. Haven't these intellectuals read that? Do they not know the history of this world? Perhaps it is dishonesty or a few dollar bills that leads them to always preach for the imperialists. Our intellectuals must be able to preach at all times, to raise awareness among our people, our popular masses, so that they understand where they come from and how they are seen by the imperialists. Let's take the history of a few wars. You followed the Iraq War, a big lie that was invented, supposedly about possession of weapons of mass destruction. Some senators in the United States did everything to have the evidence. They didn't get it. Remember that several people resigned from the CIA after this war. Evidence has been invented everywhere. Western secret services helped them fabricate evidence. And we remember that the same Niger was accused in his time by setting up a false agreement, a false contract for the sale of uranium to Iraq. This is the same process that they wanted to bring about last time for supposedly Niger selling uranium clandestinely to Iran. That they had no proof. Even the United Nations ultimately found that there was no tangible proof of the presence of weapons of mass destruction. But they had their objective, which was to destroy Iraq. They destroyed Iraq. They created the Islamic State, just like they created the Taliban in the 80s, the armies, equipping them, and then they pretend to come and fight them. Understand the game. It's gone on for too long. We need to wake up and understand all this and become aware of our situation, and fight for our future. This whole war was invented passing through Iraq, Syria, Libya, with the aim of destabilizing the world for their benefit, because no one should be able to match them. This is what we are experiencing today in the Sahel also, that they have imposed on us, because they will always find black people who will get excited and who will take up arms against their black brothers. This is what we are experiencing. They never left this model. Unfortunately, many people agree with them because of a few.
Hey guys, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. I am Michelle, and if you're watching me for the first time, kindly don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and even comment. So guys, I hope you have all watched the video. That activist talking fearlessly, speaking fearlessly to that crowd. That activist is not ashamed to and is fearlessly and is bravely thanking the president of Burkina Faso for the good work he is doing. He is just appreciating the good work that man is doing. He feels like the Burkina Faso president, who is Ibrahim Traore, has all the qualities of a good leader they were looking for, and he feels like they have finally gotten the leader they were looking for. She feels like Burkina Faso needed a leader like Ibrahim Traore, simply because when you are visiting other countries, what you hear about Burkina Faso is that they are having fights. It's just a bad country. It's a country for blacks. But Burkina Faso has developed since Ibrahim Traore sat on that seat. That country has grown so fast. She is saying that Burkina Faso is not the country people used to think in the years back. Burkina Faso has really grown and is really growing, and what they need to do is just support their president, because the president they have right now, who is Ibrahim Traore, has really made them proud, and what they can do is just support him. We all know Ibrahim Traore has made a lot of change. Activist is just what she is just removing from her mouth is just praises and praises and praises, because of the good work Ibrahim Traore has done to Burkina Faso. We all know when Ibrahim Traore sat on that seat, Burkina Faso was just a mess. The economic was just down. But when that man sat on that seat, he made sure and he promised people, when he was sworn in, he promised people that he is going to make Burkina Faso proud, and that man is already making Burkina Faso proud. It's only 2 years, but the changes he's making is surprising the world. We all know Burkina Faso has over 300 million people living in diaspora who are really proud and are always supporting this man. This man is being watched by people worldwide. This man is making people shocked. Other leaders, African leaders and Caribbean leaders, are just shocked because of the game-changing move this man is making. This man has made the world to tremble. This man is shaking every African leader, because he's that one leader who is not corrupt. He's that one leader who thinks about his people first. He's that one leader who appreciates and knows where he's coming from and remembers where he's coming from. He's that one leader who is making sure to do whatever he promised his people to do before he was elected. He's that one leader who feels like Burkina Faso needs a lot of change, and that is what this man is doing. This man has built roads in Burkina Faso. We all know Burkina Faso was just a mess before this man sat on that seat, but this man has sat on that seat, has built roads. Infrastructure in Burkina Faso are becoming one of the best infrastructures. Burkina Faso is also producing cars Can you imagine? Burkina Faso has just become a country that is well known and being admired. Every African leader should just be like Ibrahim Traore. Every African leader and Caribbean leaders should just look and be like Ibrahim Traore, because this man is making a lot of game-changing moves that are surprising people and making their people proud. We as people, we always choose leaders who we feel like they will help us, and we choose leaders that we feel like they can understand us. But in most African countries and Caribbean countries, the leaders we are always choosing, they end up disappointing us, they end up shaming us, they end up being corrupt, they only think about their families, and only squander our money and leave the seats without doing anything. But the Burkina Faso president Ibrahim Traore is doing a good work. That man is doing a good work. We should give all the appreciation to this leader, because this man has ashamed. We all thought that we have lost good leaders, but this man has given us hope. We are going, at the end of the tunnel there is light. We can see light at the end of the tunnel. This man is showing us light, and he is telling us that you can do it. We can do it as long as we give him all the support he needs. This man is shocking the world. This man is doing whatever he was elected to do. We all know this man is building hospitals in Burkina Faso. Now Burkina Faso has the best hospital facilities because of this man. This man knew his people are suffering to go abroad to get treatment, so he decided to help his people and make sure that his people get the best medical facilities. He is also building schools in Burkina Faso. This man is building schools that were not in Burkina Faso. He doesn't believe in going to learn abroad. This man wants his country to have the best schools, so that they should reduce the rate of employing other teachers or doctors from other countries to come and teach us. When you are learned, you won't need to employ doctors from other countries to come and treat your patient. This man is thinking beyond, is thinking about our future, and we really appreciate the good work Ibrahim Traore is doing to Burkina Faso, because he has made Burkina Faso the talk of the world. This man is our hope and is our light. We were waiting for this kind of a president in Africa and in the Caribbean countries, and finally we have one. We have one black African president who is thinking about his people, who is prioritizing his people rather than prioritizing the family and any other person. He's that one kind of a person who feels like his people are supposed to be served, and he's that one of a president who knows and understands that the people of Burkina Faso are his bosses. He is that one of a kind of a leader who understands the true meaning of being a president. So guys, if it was for the first time you're coming across my video, kindly don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and even comment.